Am I live right now? Am I live? I think I am. Yeah, I think I am. Let me see. Let's see. Activate live sources. See, I knew that wasn't going to work. What's going on, everybody? I'm going to have to figure out one thing before this meeting starts is how I get the chat to come back. I think they finished with the budget meeting. They're going to go straight into the regular township meeting. I saw a little bit of the budget meeting, so I have some thoughts on it, like some really basic general thoughts. I was running around. Hopefully this is working. Hopefully you are able to hear me because it's been a while since I did any kind of live. So a lot of programs had been updated and everything. So I am a little behind on figuring this whole thing out. Let's see. Here, remove that. Let me see if this works. Okay. Oh, something went wrong. Let's see. Let's try it again. Well, hopefully that works. All right, let me know if you guys can hear what's going on. Let me turn it up real quick. And let's see, can I hear? Is it anything? Is she muted it? Because I can't hear a damn thing. Oh, she may have muted it because I don't hear anything. This is all in the queues stream. I was trying Vivian's, but I keep it's like keep buffering, so I don't know what's going on. But appreciate you guys for coming through. This is gonna be a special live stream because I want to check out what's going on with the township, with Napoleon Harris and what he is doing, because there are some concerns. Casey Cat, yeah, it is a song that never ends. It's a bit sad, but it's also not a big surprise. It seems like a lot of things have not changed since Tiffany Harris has left. It seems like the drama is just as crazy, to be honest. Okay, I see that chat. That works. It just seems really, really unfortunate that we're still here, but it is what it is. We got to figure it out. All right, do I have to sign this way? All right, once the meeting comes out, hopefully if that stream doesn't work or if it's still muted, I'll have to find some other way to show the meeting. Oh, I don't remember my damn password right now. So let me see if it's just me. Yeah, Stephanie, I thought it was gonna be done too, but I guess not. All right, let me show my face. Let me see if it's just me or there's the other one has sound to it. Okay. All right. I think All in the Queue has hers muted. I'll put her link in the chat in just a moment. I'm still trying to catch up with all this going on. So it's not as fresh as it usually is. I'm sure you guys understand. There you go, put it back. Cool. And then, yeah, not as fresh or quick as it used to be. But I appreciate you guys for coming through. As we wait for the meeting, meeting may be coming back on in just a moment, so hopefully the sound starts to pick up. But there's some focuses, or at least a main focus in my estimation. Okay, now they're talking. Hopefully she turns on her sound, or we're going to have to go to a different stream. Yeah, we're going to have to go to a different stream because this is not. She didn't turn her sound back on. Too bad. All right, we're going to go to Vivian Allen's. Hopefully hers stopped buffering because her was buffering like crazy. Hers a little angle, a little off.
being present, we have a quorum. At this moment, we're gonna do what our customary done throughout all of our meetings, and call on Pastor McCain Bowman to lead us in a word of prayer.
Our God and our Father, we thank you for letting us rise this morning to see another day we've never seen before. We thank you, dear God, for this meeting that we're having here today to get an understanding of what's going on in our township. We ask, dear God, that you continue to give our leaders elected the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how to run this great township. We thank you, dear God, as we get answers, send peace in a hostile situation. The same peace that you sent the other day, God send it now. Favor us in the name of Jesus Christ. Give all of us to understand that a house divided cannot stand. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, we're going to allow for public comments.
For public comments, each person will get 3 minutes to speak, a total of 30 minutes. We allow for public comments per ordinance. First person, Gardis Watts.
Greetings to the supervisor, trustees, administrators, and residents. What we have here is nothing that really surprises me at all. It's unfortunate that this township continues to get a bad name in the news and its handling of its resources. The resources we get that a certain political figure continues to garner the unmerited salary of a previous supervisor. And while this is not legally wrong, thanks to the supervisor's slick political maneuvering as a state senator, this does not restore the trust or confidence of the residents. The majority of the 11% of voters in the last election look to you to not just replace a bad administration, but to make substantial changes to bring this township back to what it was originally built for, to service the needs of those who most need it. Frank Zuccarelli turned this township into a super PAC. Tiffany Henyard made it a party. And now the current supervisor wants to make it a currency exchange to cash his checks. Unfortunately, the electorate have to bear their responsibility because the collective does not have an understanding of politics. The supervisor took advantage of a dire situation from the last administration's chaos. You turned down every offer to debate or even give your political platform in a public setting. You just basically ran off the strength that you're not Tiffany Henyard. Many voters in the last election just decided to vote for the lesser of two evils, not knowing that the lesser of evil is still evil. Residents of this township, we are in a dire situation. Property taxes are sky high. Republicans are destroying the national politics, and Democrats are destroying the local politics. We've been given budget proposals with no clarity. We still have not seen a forensic audit of the finances. And we sit back and watch a township supervisor make more money than the governor of the state of Illinois. Now, I was encouraged to hear that the increase in the services are being spent because of the cost of living, because the people of this township are the ones that need a raise and not you.
Jennifer Roberts.
After everything that I've heard, I was beginning to think that there were some hopeful things that was being said, but I realized that some of you tonight are not gonna like what I have to say, and I must say that I'm not here to be liked, but I'm here to be heard. So my comment is to you, Supervisor Harris. What motivated you to seek the supervisor position of Thornton Township? Was it solely for the six-figure compensation, or did you feel a sense of entitlement to become the most powerful figure in the Southland? Your substantial township salary allocates tax dollars away from supporting needy residents in an overtaxed area experiencing rapid population decline. Those who can afford to leave Thornton Township are doing so, while those who cannot are struggling. I do not intend to come across as overly critical. However, since you become supervisor, and even prior to that, transparency has been lacking. Instead, I have observed a continuation of the same practices seen during the caucus, which you established to ensure your appointment without opposition or public input. Aside from photo opportunities, meaningful interaction with residents have been scarce. Have you solicited our feedback? I heard you say not long ago that our questions are nonsense, and that is not good to hear. The residents did not desire a career politician. Rather, we sought someone genuinely invested in addressing our needs. We wanted an individual who would listen to our concerns, and respond with tangible actions and not mere rhetoric. Supervisor Harris, and I say this with everything that's in me, you still have ample opportunity to prove to us, to prove me incorrect about everything that I just said. And I eagerly await seeing that you do so. Thank you. We have come to you personally and wanted to ask you questions, but you have not given us time. We need that interaction from you.
The next speaker is Paul Roberts.
I'm sorry, I don't want to come off as negative, but at the first meeting of this new board, I decided I would wait until at least September before publicly criticizing the board. My comment this evening is about the attorneys. Immediately after being sworn in, the new board voted unanimously to appoint Bert Odelson and Steve Laderzinski as the township attorneys. Perhaps their entire law firms were appointed to represent Thornton Township, but the official minutes of the May 19th meeting mention only those two names. The first FOIA request that I sent to the township in 2025 was in June. I asked for copies of the contracts between the township and the new township attorneys. I have received no response, despite mentioning this to one trustee and asking the Attorney General's public access counselors to step in and help. The township's FOIA officer did send me a prompt and complete answer to a subsequent FOIA request. Makes me wonder if the first request is a sensitive issue. The Henyard administration promptly and completely answered my FOIA request made for the contract and all invoices from the firm they chose as township attorneys. That contract stated that the attorneys were hired to provide legal advice and services to the supervisor and/or the trustees. It did not specify which side they should advise in the event of a conflict between the supervisor and the trustees. However, it was clear that they did not provide legal advice or services to the residents. Since we are now paying for two township attorneys, or perhaps two law firms, Might one of them actually provide legal services or advice to the residents? For example, could residents approach one of our township attorneys for help in wording a ballot resolution to establish a recall mechanism for elected township officials? This issue is of great concern to me. After seeing one of the law firms work for the supervisor first in the design and implementation of the caucus in Homewood, and then by getting the electoral board to overlook evidence of the supervisor's residence by discrediting the witness who raised the objection. Given that Supervisor Harris is also the person who chooses which judges get on the ballot around here, I am much more afraid of his attorneys than I was ever afraid of Tiffany's dudes. It'd be wonderful to see that the township attorneys are here to provide some clarity to the residents so we have a better understanding of what is being approved during meetings such as this one. Thank you.
Next we'll have Vivian Allen.
All right, so I just want to start by reading the Illinois Criminal Code for cyberbullying. It's 720 ILCS 5/12-7.5. It is illegal to harass, threaten, or intimidate someone online, especially when it's repeated and intentional. When I first started this fight for Dalton, that's where it all began. We didn't know what was going on. When I helped Tiffany Hilliard with her campaign, I believed in her transparency. I thought that she was going to be a good leader. We all know that failed. When I helped Clean House 2025 with their campaign, it wrote me into a movement, and it created more division than unity in our community in the end. Looking back, I believe we all have some self-reflecting to do. Some of us got it right, some of us got it wrong. But the most beautiful part was when we all stood together until it wasn't. Now, I need to address something serious. Violence has erupted this past Monday. Amir and his daughter were physically assaulted in Harvey after the Harvey board meeting, and I truly believe that an attack was also meant on me because of what happened at the previous township meeting. Everybody was there, everybody knows what happened, so I'm not gonna go into that. So that was not for community, that was complete intimidation. And I don't allow it, and I don't respect it. Let me be very clear. I am disabled physically, not because I'm faking, but because it is what it is. That's the life that God chose for me, and this is the path that I have. With that being said, I can speak my truth. I can share my opinions, and I have every right to do so just like anyone else without being cyberbullied and cyber attacked. I have my lab going on now, and all I'm doing is getting cyberbullied and cyber attacks. I want this on record because Keith Price is a worker here. He's on FMLA, but I know he's a worker here. And he's part of the online bullying and those cyber attacks that I am receiving. And I want to also put on note that investigative advocate, including certain members, moderators, affiliates, have actually harassed me, spammed me on my page, and stirred up dangerous energy, and I need this to stop immediately. He is a township employee, so I want this on you guys' record to make sure that when he do come back, that something is said, because I've already gone and did what I need to do on my end to make sure that this stops, but I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is a crime that they're doing to me with cyber stalking. Also, I supported Clean House 2025. I believe in their vision. I supported you guys. I believe in your vision. I understand that you guys have been in there 63 days. We are going to give you time to get the finances under control.
That's
Because,
fine.
thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly Preston.
Good evening. I'm sure today doesn't feel good. But Mama said there'll be days like this, so I'll continue with my comment anyway. I don't want you to take it personal. It's a public comment. It's just my vision from the public view. On July 14th, when Bradley was here, he asked the supervisor a few questions. One of his questions were, do you think what you're doing is right, being that you were critical of Tiffany? The supervisor answered, I was not critical of anything. Then he asked, considering what these residents have been through, do you think it's a good look for you to be doing some of the same stuff she was doing? The supervisor responded with, I think that's an unfair assessment of what is going on. In the public, I just want to let you know what our assessment could be from where we sit. Our first assessment is there was a political maneuver made in secret to restore a salary we saw blocked before you took the seat. A team was put together of well-known community leaders who were convinced that what was happening was for the good of the community. It is their credibility that is at risk. You were made aware that there was a vote for a forensic audit. In your own words, no RFP was done, so no auditor was hired, and you made no moves to correct that action. At the present moment, the finance director from the previous administration still sits in a tainted, unchecked seat with no signs of removal as he just completed a budget with as many errors or blatantly shows the public where allegedly money could be misused. There are still non-approved employees on the township payroll, including ones that lied during the last administration. Events are being approved without disclosing to the public via the agenda a budget. At least the last administration had the audacity to tell the public about a budget. You also commented to Ben Bradley that a workman is worthy of his hire. Loosely, it's a quote from the Bible. I will direct you to a more befitting passage. The steps of a good man are ordered by God. The reflection of your last steps should be assessed. Lastly, to the board, remember you all were elected in your own right, your own merit. I want you to remember, why did you agree to join this team? Did you join for status or notoriety? Did you join to be famous or infamous? The choice is yours. Thank you.
Next we will have Alicia Nicole.
Yes, good evening. I echo some of the same sentiments about Robert Hunt. This is no disrespect to him as a person. I feel like he doesn't have a lot of integrity to me from what I've seen. Seems like he does what he's told to do and not what's right, and that's a hard pill to swallow when he's the finance director. I just tried to talk to him now. He said he'll be back or whatever it was, but still no engagement. I do appreciate that he gave the report, and that he fielded some questions, but I mean, he had time to prepare to answer. I don't feel like he's availed himself to just answer freely. Secondly, one thing about the budget, I do understand what you guys have presented. For me, I think the real comparison comes next budget year, fiscal year, when we actually get to see what was spent compared to what was allotted. Because I feel like there's no baseline, so I mean, they're operating kind of without, real structure being in place previously. So I actually understand that, and I'm anxious to see next year this time, this budget that is presented and voted upon compared to the next budget, and then what was actuals versus what was projected. Because they did explain, if certain things aren't used, then that money is not, it's reallocated or it's retained. So I understand that, so I'm gonna cut them some slack because of that. And I think that's a more fair comparison next year. Secondly, I wanna say, echoing to the cyberbullying, some of the people that's yelling this are the same ones that started this, even with the people they mentioned, started this whole cyberbullying campaign. I want to say about Babe Solo, specifically Jesse Jones, whatever you go by, please leave my name off of your content. You're trying to get clicks by creating mess. I've never said I wanted to fight you, never called you out your name. never did anything other than ask you to just stop talking or to lower your voice. It's all recorded. So I'm not sure why, at your age especially, you're engaging in this nonsense, because that's what it is. I've asked you on every single platform to refrain from calling my name out, for using my name, for making slanderous allegations that aren't true. I've asked you on every single platform, and I'm asking you now during public comment to refrain. This is what I'm dealing with. But anyway, I just wanted it on record. I didn't say anything. She's relentless, she's obsessed, and I think it's something more to it. But anyway, thank you, administration. Sorry I had to take your time with this, but again, I feel like, things need to be put in place to ease the contention. And some people strive off contention and mess, and I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm making that public statement right now and asking that a few people, this person specifically, leave my name out of her mess. Thank you.
Wow. Trina, stop.
Okay, just real short. I just like to say, I do like the idea, if you could, of taking a little bit more time for the vote. And another thing I would like to say is, the climate in the country right now, okay? We just have so much stress, and there's a lot of tension and mistrust, and that's part of what's going on. The public wants to believe and trust in their government. We need it so badly. And so that's part of what's going on. And as far as, I'm sorry I wasn't able to pay super close attention to the numbers and everything in the general assistance fund, but in looking at the budget, I think you probably are, I hope you are, thinking about what the future might be as far as, again, what's going on nationally, that there may be more need for the pantry, more need for general assistance, as the changes in the medical situation happens, as the changes in SNAP happens. People may be coming for relief from the township. And so, if you could just kind of think about that when you're looking about putting the figures together. And of course, our tax assessor, that is just so critical to the needs of this township. I can't begin to tell you what a blessing it is to have that. So, thank you.
Angela Russell.
Good evening, everyone. Dalton resident, Thornton Township member. I first want to acknowledge all of the different emotions and feelings that everyone has here and has been having for quite some time, which is why I want to keep reminding you that there are free mental health supports available, no matter what you're going through, whether you have a diagnosis, general stress. Our agency provides that. We're also partnering with a lot of different agencies to provide free mental health services right here in Thornton Township. Our event Healing Happens Here was this past Friday. We had a lot of different resources that are located right here in Thornton Township that everybody could have accessed. A lot of the providers who were there also provided free workshops, stress management, healing circles, peace circles. We had a group there specifically for Black moms. We had sound bath healing and meditation, light therapy, and oral readings. We also had people there for, if you had questions about your property taxes. She was actually doing paperwork to help you get your property tax and exemptions in order. I have presented that information a lot, and I'm kind of disappointed that more people in Thornton Township didn't advertise it. I did. It was everywhere, but it gets bombarded by all the political things that's going on. And so I post every other day on all the platforms, but it gets bombarded with everything. And I actually do really understand that, but we have to take a break from all of the chaos that we participate in to manage our own healing and where our focus is. So I'm here to offer again, I would like to request a meeting with this board to talk about the services and the partnerships that my agency has developed to bring these things right here in Thornton Township. It could be in this building, it could be at Dalton Library, it could be at South Holland Library. Wherever we have the space, we will bring that support to anyone in this room, anyone who is listening, anyone who is watching. Because the stress goes beyond the politics of today. It's things happening with our youth, it's things happening in our homes, it's things happening with our family. And we have to have a safe space to process those things and to get the supports that we need. So again, I am here, I am available, the resources are here. We will bring them to you, you will not have to travel far. We will make them accessible, we will make sure that they're affordable, and they are for all ages. We actually are partnering with the Southland Juvenile Justice Council to make sure we provide free services to our youth who are also in mental health crisis for various reasons. Short-term, long-term, situational. There are so many things that we need to bring here to Thornton Township. While you're talking about bringing the resources back for mental health, please consider the offers I've been making.
Thank you. Ryan Sawinski.
All right, hello again. I just wanted to be clear, even though I am a registered Democrat, no, I did not endorse this current slate to be the township board. Not personally, because some of you I speak with personally, and it's as someone previously had said, this is all about professional criticism and about how you all are doing your public jobs. I, to my surprise, endorsed the Republican candidates, but it was mostly because the Democratic slate really had no debates or dialogue. There were no plans for ethics reforms. Basically, the platform was, let's just return to what we did during the Zuccarelli days. And my position is that that's not good enough. I grew up during the Zuccarelli days, you know, going to Thornwood and all this. I saw all some of the faces may have changed, but it was all about, unfortunately, people getting paid. And yes, we help people and give services along the way, but that's not good enough anymore. We have lost so many residents to Indiana, to areas further west and further south, because people they can't take all the tax burden. I cannot communicate this to you enough. You're not there to enrich yourselves. You're there, we need the services. No one's against the services, but people can't afford to live in their homes. How many more people do you want to see move to Indiana? I mean, we will not survive as a region. When I taught at Thornton, I always tell my kids, hey, you're gonna come back to Harvey, you know, and help, and they were like, no way, we're gonna get out of here. We don't even want to be in this area. So I mean, that's what we're facing. I wanted to bring up the WGN report about the salaries, you know, about those being too high, so that needs to be addressed. What is the legality of the salaries in those issues? Instead of a tax refund, I was gonna suggest just spend the public money wisely and then decrease everybody's tax rates, and you don't have to worry about a refund. For the travel, this reminds me of District 152. I brought up these same points, and Ms. Nesbitt is also on that board. Again, I'm not against professional development, but who's going? What's the cost? And why can't you do some remote learning? Like, why do you guys have to go to these hotels? And, you know, what are you paying? For the credit card policies, what is that? All the resolutions should be posted online prior to each meeting, because we don't even know what you're voting on. I suggest from now on just having basic levels of funding until the audit is complete. All of you yelled and screamed and criticized for months, saying that we had to clean up and figure out where all the money is. But now that you're in office, you're not doing that. You're rushing to vote and spend money, and it's not right. I suggest in the meantime, if you do need more money, just take it for some of the salaries you've increased. And my final question is, I live here in Harvey, Illinois. You can always come visit my house on Ashland Avenue. Do you?
Thank you. Next up is Dan Lee.
Greetings, everyone. This is sort of my reintroduction to this forum, because I've been away for a while. It feels better, but we have a ways to go yet. I'm very disappointed that the forensic audit idea has been it appears to be ignored, no matter how many months we've talked about this. And the reason we need that is not to just drag things out from the old administration. We need a baseline that we can trust. We don't really have a baseline right now if these numbers that were given to us are maybe inaccurate. So basically, we're still shooting in the dark. And I think this needs to be addressed one way or another. We got to connect the amount of money that was there and the amount of money that's here. And there seems to be a lot of gaps in that. These funds don't seem to be, a lot of these funds don't seem to be verified. I'm all for moving forward, but we have to do it in a smart way. Also, I noticed that Mr. Hunt said he was coming back, but I guess he took a long around. Okay. I heard him going through a list of questions, and he informed me that those questions came from Lansing Journal and not from, through you guys. I think that between the two meetings that are going to start up, we're going to have two a month, I guess, when the summer ends. And one of those meetings, we should have some type of Q&A.
Yeah.
We need that. I mean, this is a communications issue as well as a financial issue. And as long as it appears that the questions are not being vetted properly or they're being selectively read, there's going to be distrust, mistrust, and we're going to waste a lot of time squabbling. And we've had 4 years of that. Enough. Okay? We all are getting tired of that. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. For instance, in the event that I understand that they do have some employees that are supposed to be getting bonuses, that's already this, that, and the other. But do we know if they deserve those bonuses? Do we know if they even qualify to even be here? They may have to lay some people off or whatever. How are we going to do that if we don't know exactly how much money we have and do it in a manner that becomes a municipality of this stature? We need to stop. We need to start acting like we are kings and queens. We got to stop acting like paupers and jesters. And we're doing that now. You guys are much improvement over what we had the last 4 years. But we still have a ways to go. We have to look each other in the eye and be completely honest with each other. So if you really think that, I don't think I want to do this or do that because of any other reason other than for the residents, you may want to reevaluate your position in this office. Thank you.
That's right.
Nina Graham. Wendy Kelly Coleman.
Hi, I did want to mention this at the last meeting, about the food pantry, but I missed the sign up. So, I've mentioned before with the previous administration that my background is in corporate. I don't know, public and politics and all of that and how things are run. However, I think it's incumbent upon this administration to be as responsible or even more so with our taxpayer dollars and have the same level of fiscal responsibility as a for-profit organization would have. This brings me to the food pantry. When I looked at the budget, there's a $1 million line item with really no explanation of what it is or what it's made up of. But even further, I'm concerned with the overall $4.368 million cost of the food pantry. This is a big amount. It's huge. Based on my math and the number of meals that on the website it says get served or boxes, comes to about $87 to provide a box of food that's worth $25. And I'm being generous because I know it's in those boxes. Even the U.S. government continue making pennies when they realize it costs $3 to make a penny, right?
Because it's not efficient, it's a waste, right? And I'm not suggesting that we eliminate the food pantry. It provides a vital service, and even more so with all the political climate and the changes, people are gonna be relying on it. So I'm not suggesting that. I just want the numbers to make sense, because right now the math ain't math. And so my suggestion is that, and I understand, you know, some people say things go up, things cost more, you know, with inflation, with this political climate and all. But I think we need to really take a look at the food pantry, the processes, the financial, take a deep dive. I'm sure there are many opportunities to realize some efficiencies that will bring those costs down, so that the math starts mathing. Because right now it doesn't. I tried to twist it and turn it on its side, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, and what that does, is, as you know, any increase like that or any savings helps with our taxes. Right now, it impacts our taxes, it impacts our property values, reduces those, and that impacts our ability to build generational wealth, which most people do through real estate. It's all about the taxes, right? Some people pay more taxes than they do the principal and interest out here. So I'm appealing to you guys. I appreciate what you've done, and I have every confidence that you guys will take a look at the food pantry, look at where we can eliminate waste, realize some efficiencies, and bring those costs down, so we can, again, as some people said, get our taxes down so we can match what we
That's
should
your
bring
agreement
in.
and allotment.
Thank you.
And at this time, I will close public comments. We are ready to 30-minute allotment. Supervisor?
Excuse me, Madam Clerk, I was a little late, but I able to speak.
I understand we have per ordinance 30 minutes allowed. Thank you.
I'll sign that paper.
Now, I ask for the approval of the minutes, ask for a motion for the approval of minutes of the regular board meeting for June 17th, 2025.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes. 17/2025.
Second. A motion is made by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Gonzalez to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting from June 17th, 2025. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. With 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries, and the approval of the minutes has been justified. Next, item 7, approval of bills. A, general fund. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the bill of the general fund.
Second.
Motion. Trustee Stanley, seconded by trustee Stubbs, to approve the general fund. Trustee, clerk, Nesbitt, call the roll. No discussion.
Trustee Stubbs?
Aye.
Trustee Stanley?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Aye.
Trustee Avant?
Aye.
Supervisor Harris?
Aye. With 5 voting in the affirmative, the bills have been approved for the general fund. Next, item B, general assistance fund. Is there a motion for the approval of the bills for the general assistance fund?
I make a motion we approve the bill of the general assistance fund.
Second. There's a motion by trustee Stanley, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes, with 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Approval for the general assistance fund. Next, is there a motion for the road and bridge fund? Approval of bills.
I'd like to make a motion for the road and bridge fund.
Second.
There's a motion by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Stanley for the road and bridge fund. Approval of bills. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes, with 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries and the bills are approved. Item 8, new business. Is there a motion, can I get a motion to approve the events listed through December for the approval of township events?
I'd like to make a motion to approve of township events through December 2025.
Second. A motion by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Stanley,
Yes.
trustee Avant. Yes. Trustee Stubbs,
Yes.
Supervisor Harris.
Yes, with 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next, I'd like to have a motion to adopt the 2025-26 appropriation ordinance, 25-007 for Thornton Township Road and Bridge Fund. I entertain a motion to adopt the 25-26 appropriation ordinance, 25-007 for the Road and Bridge Fund. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we adopt the 2025-2026 appropriation ordinance 25-007 for Thornton Township Road and Bridge Fund.
Second.
Trustee Stanley makes a motion to adopt the appropriation ordinance 25-007 for Thornton Township Road and Bridge Fund, seconded by trustee Stubbs. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Avant. Yes. Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Stanley,
Yes.
trustee Stubbs,
Yes.
Supervisor Harris.
Yes, with 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next, I entertain a motion to adopt the 25-26 appropriation ordinance, 25-008 for the General Assistance Fund. Is there a motion? I'd like to adopt the budget and the appropriation ordinance, both 25-008 for Thornton Township General Assistance Fund. I entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we adopt the 2025-2026 budget and appropriation ordinance 25-008 for Thornton Township General Assistance Fund.
Second. Motion by trustee Stanley, seconded by trustee Gonzalez to adopt the 2025-26 budget and appropriation ordinance 25-008 for Thornton Township General Assistance Fund. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Stanley,
Yes.
trustee Stubbs,
Yes.
trustee Avant. Yes. Supervisor Harris.
Yes, with 5 members voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next, item 8D, I'd like to ask for recognition, entertain a motion to adopt the 2025-26 budget and appropriation ordinance 25-009 for Thornton Township General Fund. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt 2025-2026 budget and appropriation ordinance 25-009 for Thornton Township General Fund.
Second.
Motion by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Stanley to adopt the 2025-26 budget and appropriation ordinance 25-009 for Thornton Township General Fund. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Avant. Yes. Trustee Stubbs,
Yes.
trustee Stanley,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Supervisor Harris.
Yes, with 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next, I'd like to get a motion to approve the renumbering of ordinance 25-003 that was approved May 25th to 25-006. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve to renumber ordinance 25-003, approval May 27, 2025, establishing rules governing meetings of the Thornton Township Board for Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois, as ordinance 25-006.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Stanley to approve to renumber ordinance 25-003 to 25-006. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stanley,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Avant. Yes. Trustee Stubbs,
Yes.
Supervisor Harris.
Aye. With 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next, we have an approval to amend the ordinance 24-006 to establish a retail/credit card net 30 policy for Thornton Township. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve to amend ordinance number 24-006 to establish a retail credit card net 30 policy for Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Stanley to approve to amend ordinance 24-106, to establish a retail credit card and credit policy. And what this is doing is limiting the amount of credit cards, that were allocated, got in to, bring that number down, so we can get control on, spending controls. We thought that was more in line with what our vision was to reduce costs. So with that being said, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Stubbs?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Aye. With 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. The next item G, I'll entertain a motion for the following training events. Beginning with one, the approval of the American Public Works Association, approval of IRTBA Plan and Design Annual Conference, and approval of Illinois Road and Transportation Builders Association Road Builders Pit Stop. Those 3 items, their motion. Their motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the training session. Second.
We have a motion, to approve, by trustee Avant, seconded by trustee Stubbs. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stubbs?
Aye.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Aye. With 5 voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next up is the supervisor report. I'll start by saying that we hear the comments of all the residents, and we definitely take them to heart. And what's being said when the public comment, and try our very best to respond in a respectful manner to make sure that the needs of the residents are being met first. That is our first and foremost thing that we live by. As has been stated before, this is a time of unity. There's no need to go out and be adversary towards anyone. And contrary to what report was said, I never disparaged anybody. You cannot find a record of me saying negative about anybody that came before me or after me. That's not true of anything on public record. I'd also like to say that people always talk about people coming together and being on one accord. Sometimes, as individuals who take on this public office, people often wonder why people do it. And they say, well, why people do it is because genuinely people care, and there's not enough people that care enough to do it. One thing I can say with complete respect for the members that's on this esteemed panel, the trustees in particular, is that people say, well, oh no, they just representing. No, it's not representing. We're communicating. And when you communicate, you don't need to go out and have all this public discourse. People are using this as clickbait, and I want to put some emphasis on this. We have a lot of people that come here for their own entertainment purposes so they can get clicks on the internet. And this is not what we're going to do and condone. We're going to stick to the business of handling township business each and every time we take this. And I see people nodding their head and no, and that's okay. Everybody can have their opinion, but the facts will remain. That's not going to change. I'm going to stand up here and do my job. As I said before, I'm only one person. I can't be everything to everybody, but I'm gonna be everything to who needs to be, and that's the residents of Thornton Township. And the decisions that we make as a collective body are gonna reflect those things that I listed off earlier, that all these trustees had an opportunity to talk about. People talk about transparency, about doing pantry work, about doing this and doing that. We cannot do everything at one time, and we're taking the progressive steps to make sure that everything is looked at and responded to. It may not come at the time that you want it, but it's coming. And those are just real realities that we have to live with. We can't do everything on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's a progression. So we're working hard towards making sure that the things that are I call it imminent, that's hitting us right in the face, that we have to prioritize things. And some things, whether we want to believe it or not, are not high up on the priority list because there's some really pressing issues that have to be handled first. Otherwise, there's an imbalance. And we try to balance everything appropriately so the residents of Thornton Township always remain first. And the last part to that is, everyone wants to talk about dysfunction. What does it actually mean? Someone said it, they said, well, if you do this way, it's one way, if you do it this way, it's another. What is it to be said for people that agree? We're not up here arguing, we're not making a bad name for ourselves, we're not bickering and bringing negative light, we're handling ourselves professionally, and we get ridiculed for doing that. So it's almost like, what do people want? But I can tell you this, the impact and the letters and the comments that we've received consistently, the overall majority of Thornton Township residents agree with what we're doing, but we want everybody. I'm not gonna, we shoot for 100, we shoot for 1,000. We want everybody's approval, but let's face it, the realization is we're not gonna please everybody. That's just being honest. And for people to come every week to try to create a narrative that's not there to continue to make people come here to bring a negative light to Thornton Township is really embarrassing. And I'll be the first to say, I'm not standing for it. And I'm gonna continue to work with each and every person that's genuinely coming to work on behalf of the residents of Thornton Township, because this is what this is about. Every trustee that's spoken tonight have reiterated that. This is not about us. It's not about this, it's not about that, it's not about who shot John, it's not about the previous person. We're moving forward. And in order to do that, we have to work together because we were duly elected by the residents of Thornton Township to do a job, and we plan on doing just that. So I thank you for the comments. I thank you for your public participation. I would just ask that you give the courtesy and respect to not just myself, but to the trustees and everybody in their respective roles that's trying to do the best job they can possibly do for the residents of Thornton Township. And at this time, I'd also ask that everyone please rise for a moment of silence. Earlier last week, we lost Gilbert Gonzalez, the dad of our dear friend and trustee, Chris Gonzalez. So could everyone rise for a moment of silence for Gilbert Gonzalez? Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez, we just want you to know as supervisor and as members of this board, we really appreciate your hard work. We appreciate what your dad meant to you and the values that he instilled in you to make you become the man that you are today. We know that you looked up to him and all the stories that you shared with us individually and collectively. Your dad's legacy lives on through you, and he has a lot to be proud of as you are proud of him. So thank you, Trustee Gonzalez, for sharing your dad with us, and you have our deepest condolences from the Thornton Township board and myself, trustees. Thank you. Also, I'd like to make mention, as it was stated before, there are some updates happening to the website, an opportunity to leave comments and questions, and we'll try to get back to the appropriate department to be able to answer those questions efficiently as we can. As was stated, we're still going through a ton of information, 40s and things that were left behind for months and almost some a year. So please be patient with us. We are working to expedite that process as quickly as we can, because we didn't hire any new people because we don't want the budget to implode anymore. And as it was mentioned earlier, no one has been let go either. And I know a lot of people have their own ideas of who should be hired and who should be fired, but that is my decision along with this board to do that. And we're going to do the best job we can, making sure that we have the right people in the right positions to lead this township forward. So with that being said, thank you for your time, and I ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Trustee Stubbs makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Trustee Stanley. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Aye. With the time Time is 7:30, and this meeting is now adjourned.
Let's just get right into it. I've heard enough. I have heard enough. Wow. I wanted to rewatch a part of the budget meeting first, because I thought that was kind of wild what he was talking about. You guys in Township, you're cooked. I mean, it's not a great situation. It looks like I'm going to be around a little longer. I can't believe it. I thought, well, you know what? Let's start. Let's just get into it. Unfortunately, I couldn't. Since I haven't streamed in a long time, I can't put the comments on my screen. I downloaded an app. I guess I downloaded an update, and then the update's not working. But I'm live, so it is what it is. So that's why I haven't put any comments on the screen. But also, so we'll do some quick stuff. Condolences to Trustee Gonzalez and his passing of his father. Thank you for all the super chats so far from Casey Cat, Donald Smith. Let me try to give everyone who has already contributed, appreciate, and all the memberships also. Casey Cat, appreciate it. Tara, appreciate the super chat as well. So it's been a while. Usually, if I did live streams, I'm doing, I guess, checking out the meetings and then reacting to it. I would say, I would try to figure out how should I start this. Well, before I got on, I was watching before I got on, I was trying to check out a little bit of the budget meeting, because a lot of it is based on mostly the local stuff, talking about how much money they're spending. But it started to give me a sense of, okay, what are we looking for? Napoleon Harris has been receiving some really terrible press as the last at least last week, about the surprise salary bump, how basically he's continuing to make over $300,000 with the two part-time gigs, Supervisor of Township and the State Senate. And you think that when you try to use a shell bill to hide this salary bump, that's extremely shady. It's extremely corrupt. It's basically what the residents wanted to avoid after the Tiffany Hayard episode. But it seems to be that we're still stuck in the same issue. We're still stuck in the same problem. So before I even decided to check out the meetings, I thought, you know what? Okay, what is he going to say? How is he going to be able to respond to this, right? Because this raise was quietly slipped under the unrelated legislation. Maybe he'll publicly explain it. I don't think he did. I don't think he explained it all throughout this situation. Why am I screen acting this way? Give me a second. Okay, let me just put it back real quick. Okay, I don't think we need to watch it anymore. But I mean, how are they going to be able to continue to pay him that much money? If we were all told that Tiffany Hayard drained the township dry, and then we're seeing in the township meeting, or at least the budget meeting, they don't want to do the forensic audit because it costs money. But if the township is in financial ruin, then where is the money magically coming from? Right? Why none of the trustees are talking? Why is the same finance director still there? The man that couldn't speak, the guy that Tiffany Hayard told when to sit down, when to talk, when to shut up, why is he still working there? And you see from Napoleon's responses, he doesn't give a damn. He wants to do exactly what he wants to do. He's the big man on campus, and we all just got to deal with it. Instructor Mike says, Tiffany told you it was happening. I knew this would happen. You don't know the politics. It looks like, Instructor Mike, that at least for many of us on the outside, we definitely underestimate the level of corruption that the Democrat, if you want to call it Democrat Party, I mean, they're running everything. I know you got most of the people who are probably here are Democrats. I'm independent. The Republican candidate had no chance of winning. Napoleon Harris knew he was going to win. The man didn't have to campaign. The man had to speak because Tiffany Hayden was so bad. But let me see if I can find that part of the township meeting, the budget meeting, right before the meeting ended. He said some stuff, but it's going to be hard for me to find it through all this here. But let me see if I can find it.
The road in someone's house.
Okay, this may be it, where he's going to explain, like, listen, you guys have to shut up. I don't care what you have to say. The forensic audit is going to cost too much money. I think this is where it is. Let me see if I can get it.
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. With 5 members voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. At this time, I call for a motion to adjourn the Road and Bridge hearing.
Let me see.
Assistance Fund.
Loss of 39%.
Yeah, that's not it. He was saying, let me see.
Water drainage issue.
I'm gonna try to find it. If I can't find it, I can always put it in later.
Responsibility is with what we have to do more, not drain this budget until that increase is not. Not going to everybody, thank you for attending. And the chair recognizes.
If I can't find it, I'll probably have to do it later.
And a total of 30 minutes.
Okay, I'm not way to find it, unfortunately. But basically, what he was saying is that the forensic audit is going to cost too much money. We need to stop being negative towards each other. Let's move forward. Let's not talk about what happened in the past. I already got my money, so why even bring up the situation in the beginning? And I really appreciate the residents for speaking up. And yeah, you've seen a lot of familiar faces. But you're going to have to do that because he's not going to do anything without pressure. Donald, with another $20 super chat. Appreciate that. There once was a time I truly cared about the issues of the residents of this town and was voicing. After this, I can see why Tiff was talking about its power grabs. And no, I don't support Tiff. Yeah, I think we get to see more of, now we're going to multiple administrations, the history, how most of us clearly did not understand the severity of the cliques, the cliquish Democratic machine where Napoleon Harris is thriving from, because he is picking the judges. Also, he's able to slip in things that benefit him financially. Everyone on the board right there is making more money than they're supposed to. And it looks like we're just stuck in, or at least the residents are stuck in a really bad position. Because the question is, if Tiffany Hayard really took everything, then there shouldn't be no problem getting the audit report taken care of. It's expensive, but pay for it. I think the residents are asking why we haven't seen a full audit report. And we need to know how much of the funds was stolen. I think Dan Lee said a really great point. He said we need a baseline. They need to know exactly what is going on so they can truly move forward. What also has been extremely sad and also embarrassing to how the trustees have basically stopped talking. I mean, just 6 months ago, Christopher Gonzalez would just go back and forth with Tiffany Hayard. He would pick up and leave if Tiffany Hayard said something wrong. And we're seeing the same rubber stamp movement as we saw when Tiffany Hayard was the trustee before things got worse over there in the township side for her. And Dalton, she had to go back and forth with trustees. But when it came to the township, she said what she said. They clapped, they voted, and they moved on. I thought that maybe this meeting, the trustees would show some level of independence, demand transparency as much as the residents. They didn't say a word. Each one of them said nothing of any kind of pushback to what Napoleon Harris said. We're going to at least see what the last part where Napoleon Harris was talking, because he was talking that big mess. But if you, I'm just looking at the trustees, if you didn't like Tiffany's lack of transparency, the way she's moving, but you sit quietly through this one, what does that say about your integrity? Have you been broad? I mean, let's go back. I'm bouncing all over the place. Robert Hunt is still the finance director. How is that possible? I don't know. I guess he, like no parents don't care. Excuse me. To a point where the finance director, Robert Hunt, was trying to take down articles from the Lansing Journal. So let me show you this really fast, really quick. Right here, I'm not gonna go through the entire the entire article. You guys can check it out. It's in Lansing Journal. Shout out to Lansing Journals. They were recording this meeting as well. But you can see from the title right here, Thornton Township Finance Director Robert Hunt denies takedown of Lansing Journal articles. So basically the background is that Lansing Journal had some articles from April 2024 and April 2025, and they received DMCA copyright complaints. The complaints claim that the finance director, Robert Hunt, was the rightful copyright owner. And what basically when the reporters contacted Robert Hunt, he denied that he did it. He said, nope, that wasn't me. But then obviously, you see right here, they emailed Hunt, asked if he filed a complaint about the 2 articles, and obviously he did not reply. They called again, see if he was available. When I connected him, I said I was following up an email I sent the previous Friday. I asked Hunt if he filed a copyright infringement notice against the Lansing Journal. He denied doing so. He said, I don't know anything about this. Then later the same day, was that a Pakistani-based takedown service sent a second round of notifications. So basically, the second complaint said that the articles was misleading, speculative, and potentially defamatory. So I'm trying to figure out, and then also they had some evidence emerging that Robert Hunt Jr. paid someone from a Pakistani, I guess, Fiverr account to try to take down these articles. And you see, this is his, I guess, Fiverr account. Fiverr is where you hire contractors to do, you can do almost anything, but mostly creative work. Like if I'm a content creator, I can contact a service to do video editing. And usually you find people from overseas, because people from overseas, you can pay them less for the amount of work. That's why everything is over, in terms of companies using foreign employees, cut down on overhead. So Robert Hunt, he makes over six figures, but he wants to save some money too. So he contacted this Pakistani group and to tell them, hey, take down these articles. It's defamatory. And you see that Lansing Hunt got him with his pants down. And this is the finance director that Napoleon Harris wants to keep. He wants to keep. After that embarrassing display, Robert Hunt trying to take down articles that make things look bad, right? So when Paul said this could be worse than Tiffany Hayard, it's possible, because the level of Napoleon Harris is not going to flip out. He's not going to make a rap video. He's not going to start dancing. He is out there to make as much money as possible. And if you look at what's going on with the trustees, they're being quiet. I mean, I'm wondering, even for Robert Hunt, what does he have on everyone that he continues to work? Does he's taking care of everything? I mean, I just don't understand it. And then going back with the budget stuff, the events, the spending, despite the crisis, right? The leadership change. The Township is still spending money on these public events. And then the residents are still asking, why is the money going to parties? Where's the transparency? What is going on? And we are not getting any information. I mean, the residents had all that to say, and Napoleon Harris didn't really answer anything other than, yes, there's still people here working from the previous administration, and I will decide to let them go or not. We need to move forward. And I can't believe that Napoleon Harris used the word clickbait. He sounded like a male version of the super mayor. I can't believe, who told him to say that? He knew this was going to happen. And that was the best speech he had. That was the best speech he had. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just do that. That makes a lot of sense. Instead of saying, you know what, there are some issues, it's just to criticize. Oh, people here just trying to get clickbait. So this is very reminiscent of Tiffany Hayard. Is he a smooth operator naturally? He's smooth in terms of his ability to probably not get angry. He's not a great communicator. He's not great with, in terms of speaking, at least in my opinion. He's just a big guy. He used to play football. And yeah, he doesn't rock the boat. That's all I can see. Like, he doesn't rock the boat. But in terms of anything else, I mean, okay. He has to know that a Lansing Journal article is there, that you have your finance director contacting a Pakistani group on Fiverr to try to take down independent journalists' articles. And it turns out that probably happened. How does he still keep his job? Unless Robert Hunt has something on these people. I have no idea. Maybe it is. Maybe he does have something on him. I don't even know. But let's listen to, because the whole meeting was, I don't know how long the meeting was, probably 20, 30 minutes. I think the public comment was longer than the meeting itself. But let's go back to the polling Harris and what he had to say. Give me a second here. I'm trying to. I gotta get this done faster. But let's go back to the polling Harris and what he had to say, because he had a lot to say. He was giving everyone the business. He was educating us, just like that other person that used to work there. He was giving us education.
If I vote in the affirmative, the motion carries. Next up is the supervisor report. I'll start by saying that we hear the comments of all the residents, and we definitely take them to heart of what's being said when the public comment, and try our very best to respond in a respectful manner to make sure that the needs of the residents are being met first. That is our first and foremost thing that we live by. As has been stated before, this is a time of unity. There's no need to go out and be adversary towards anyone. And contrary to what the report was said, I never disparaged anybody. You cannot find a record of me saying negative about anybody that came before me or after me.
Why is he flexing like that's something to be be proud of? So there's things happening. So in Napoleon's world, that that Democratic machine there, the Illinois Democratic machine. So what he's saying is that if he noticed one of his coworkers, right, or one of his fellow public servants doing something wrong, like maybe embarrassing the entire township or embarrassing one group of people or embarrassing their residents, he's not going to say anything because he doesn't speak negatively about his, colleagues. He just sits there and says nothing while, the other person who's doing the wrong thing gets to run around like a maniac. So that's a flex for Napoleon Harris for some reason.
That's not true of anything on public record. I'd also like to say that people always talk about people coming together and being on one accord. Sometimes, as individuals who take on this public office, people often wonder why people do it. And they say, well, why people do it is because genuinely people care, and there's not enough people that care enough to do it. One thing I
don't know what that means. I don't know. A lot of people go to public service. Usually they want to do the right thing, but then once you get in, you realize the amount of money you can make. And not just the salary, obviously he's gobbling up the salary, is the power. It's the power to move things, like real estate, for instance, or able to hook up your friends with contracts, or to have certain laws passed so your friends can benefit, and then those friends can benefit you with kickbacks. That's what I'm hitting Mike. That's what politician is about. That's why, as much as I have a channel talking about politicians, I would never be one. It's hard to like them because it's really about the power that you get. So I don't know what he was rambling about. Again, Napoleon Harris is not a great speaker at all. And he's going to try to find ways to make it seem like what he's doing is great. In this entire report, you're going to notice he's not going to speak about that salary raise. He said that Ben Bradley from WGN was mischaracterizing what was going on with that bill. Mind you, he never mentions it because there's nothing to miscategorize. You saw what happened, that issue with his salary increase was in a shell bill. Was a part of just slipped in there so he can continue to make as much money as he possibly can. What is that about being a public servant and caring about the people?
say with complete respect for the members that's on this esteemed panel, the trustees in particular, is that people say, well, oh no, they just representing. No, it's not representing. We're communicating. And when you communicate, you don't need to go out and have all this public discourse. People are using this as clickbait, and I want to put some emphasis on this. We have a lot of people that come here for their own entertainment purposes so they can get clicks on the internet, and this is not what we're going to do and condone.
Napoleon, this speech will get you your clickbait. This speech is going to make more people interested because you are so out of touch, or I don't know what. Again, I don't know who told him to say this stuff. I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know what he's not really good at speaking. I don't think he's really charismatic at all. I think he's a big guy who play football. I don't see it. But this idea that, okay, you guys think that we're a rubber stamp vote. No, we're communicating. We're doing it positively. You still need to have discussion. This discussion may not necessarily be where you guys need to debate on whether you should agree with something or not. It's for the residents. Hey, yes, let's talk about the Road and Bridge Fund. I want to discuss it. I want to let the people know what's going on. You guys are just rubber stamping everything because we don't know what's going on. There is no discussion. It's even been criticized from many people in this meeting and this media that you guys are not talking. So talking doesn't necessarily mean arguing. So again, that argument doesn't really work really well for him.
We're going to stick to the business of handling township business each and every time we take this. And I see people nodding their head and no, and that's okay. Everybody can have their opinion, but the facts will remain. That's not going to change. I'm going to stand up here and do my job. As I said before, I'm only one person. I can't be everything to everybody, but I'm going to be everything to who needs to be, and that's the residents of Thornton Township. And the decisions that we make as a collective body.
I just want to read another comment here real quick from an instructor, Mike. Here's the problem. You all voted for him. You didn't do your research. You don't ask people. You don't ask people who know, and all of us who do know, you call us out of our names. You don't listen to us. Yeah, I mean, I used to try to argue the point where when someone would say, you get what you voted for. And then my response was that, well, sometimes you don't know how a person is going to do something because sometimes you just don't know. Either they didn't have the opportunity to do it yet, or you're again, misjudging it. But for Napoleon Harris, no, I don't think enough research was done. I think the very few people who actually voted just wanted someone different. And it could have been anyone but Tiffany. It's kind of similar to this other situations we see nationally. Anyone but Tiffany. And then you got a career politician that knows the game, knows the ins and outs, knows that I really don't really care about what people say about me. I'm in the machine. I'm going to be well insulated. I'm going to bless the people in power that will take care of me. And I don't really care what some of the media are saying, or people who are outside the situation. But yeah, you at the end of the day, you get what you vote for. I can't really argue with that point anymore. If you don't get enough people to vote, you don't do enough research, this is where it is. I don't think anyone else had a chance to win. I think Nate, I think the Republican candidate, I don't remember the name. The numbers were really low across the board, but Napoleon just ran away with it, unfortunately. I'm Donald Smith with $5, which I appreciate it. Notice everyone's body language. They're either looking down at the paper or pretending to read or do blank stares at the back wall. They know what they're doing. They're scared. They're scared. They're scared. They're not going to push back until Napoleon Harris gets caught in something so ridiculous or so outrageous that maybe they'll start speaking. But right now, it's just as similar to when Tiffany Hayes became supervisor. No one questioned what she said. She had a bunch of weird things she would say, and she'll get the full room clapping. And it's basically deja vu with this guy.
Are going to reflect those things that I listed off earlier that all these trustees had an opportunity to talk about. We talk about transparency, about doing pantry work, about doing this and doing that. We cannot do everything at one time, and we are taking the progressive steps to make sure that everything is looked at and responded to. It may not come at the time that you want it, but it's coming. And those are just real realities that we have to live with. We can't do everything on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's a progression.
You could just explain right now how it's okay for you to have that salary and how you were able to get that salary through this unrelated legislation. Like, you could explain that right now, but you don't. Man didn't explain at all. And it was told several times by public comment exactly about that salary. The man didn't say not one word about it.
So we're working hard towards making sure that the things that are I call it imminent, that's hitting us right in the face, that we have to prioritize things. And some things, whether we want to believe it or not, are not high up on the priority list because there's some really pressing issues that have to be handled first. Otherwise, there's an imbalance. And we're trying to balance everything appropriately so the residents of Thornton Township always remain first. And the last part to that is, everyone wants to talk about dysfunction. What does it actually mean? Someone said it. They said, well, if you do this way, it's one way. If you do it this way, it's another. What is it to be said for people that agree? We're not up here arguing. We're not making a bad name for ourselves. We're not bickering and bringing negative light. We're handling ourselves professionally, and we get ridiculed for doing that. So it's almost like, what do people want?
Good question, Napoleon, because it seems like you don't understand. He is not good at speaking. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a professional speaker. He is not good at explaining things. The man doesn't have any charisma. I'm sorry. I don't know how he got it. I guess he's just a nice guy. He played football, and I think instructor Mike said it best. He's a get along guy. He knows how to make the right friends and make the right connections. I don't think he able to convince me of anything. I don't know what he just said. Transparency and professionalism, where people are speaking about what is going on and not pretending that they didn't hear the question, up front of what's happening. They don't have a finance director that's still working there. That's true professionalism. I don't understand. He thinks if anyone is having a discussion, it's dysfunction and chaos. So this is the binary thinking of this man. It's kind of scary to have that binary thinking. You're making almost $400,000 a year. Because maybe I should have, well, I can't play football, so I guess that was the first strike against me. But I'm worried about his level of critical thinking skills and thinking like at least a little bit above surface level thinking. He thinks if the trustees have a discussion with him, that is negative, and that's dysfunction. And true professionalism is everyone doing what he wants them to do. Everyone just need to vote on his line and what he wants. Because anything less than that is dysfunction for Mr. Harris.
But I can tell you this, the impact and the letters and the comments that we've received consistently, the overall majority of Thornton Township residents agree with what we're doing. But we want everybody.
I don't know if that's even true. I don't believe even that is true. I think that news story came out on WGN. I think a lot of people are really upset. I don't know what he's talking about. He is out of touch. Or someone needs to tell him what's going on. Also, there wasn't explained that his chief of staff is making it over $100,000, and as a position that no one knows what she's doing. I forgot the person's name. You guys should check out the I think one of the news articles. We don't know what's going on over there with that either.
We shoot for 100. We shoot for 1,000. We want everybody's approval. Well, let's face it, the realization is we're not.
Shout out to Nate laughing. Yeah, pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Shout out to Nate the lawyer.
I want to please everybody. That's just being honest. And for people to come every week to try to create a narrative that's not there, to continue to make people come here to bring a negative light to Thornton Township is really embarrassing. And I'll be the first to say, I'm not standing for it. And I'm going to continue to work with each and every person that's genuinely coming to work on behalf of the residents of Thornton Township.
What's he going to do? What are you going to do, Supervisor Harris? You're not going to stand for, what are you going to do? Kick people out? You're going to start bringing security? Like, what are you talking about? He's also saying, because I'm trying to break down what he's saying. If you come with any criticism, you are trying to destroy the township. Don't come in here with any from some other place trying to criticize what he's doing, because he won't stand for it. I don't know what he's going to do about it, but he's saying that he won't stand for it, but he is not going to accept any level of criticism, God damn it, or he's going to, I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea.
This is what this is about. Every trustee that's spoken tonight have reiterated that. This is not about us. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's not about who shot John. It's not about the previous person. We're moving forward.
Real quick, look at the people that's there. Actually, let me just show the screen real quick. Look at the people moving forward. Look how confident and happy and positive these group of people are. Look at them. Look, they are fully behind their leader. they're not concerned or worried or uncomfortable at all. Look at everyone's face. Everyone looks very, very happy. They're like, listen, we're on the right slate. We're doing nothing wrong. We're not screwed at all. This dude is killing it. You know, this supervisor is 10 times better than the last one. We have nothing to worry about. Look at their faces. Look at Trustee Gonzalez. Look at Trustee Mary. You see Stubbs. Everyone looks very, very comfortable. They don't realize that he's digging himself a hole. He's doing fantastic right now.
And in order to do that, we have to work together because we were duly elected by the residents of Thornton Township to do a job, and we plan on doing just that.
Oh, sorry, Casey Cat with the $5 super chat. Did I miss anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone else. The position he gave his chief of staff for $200,000 never even existed before. The only way this is going to go in the opposite direction, someone needs to break the ranks. It happened with the Tiffany Haynes situation. Someone up there needs to do things a little differently. Bring up some concerns. They'll get fired, and then this starts to have some momentum. Right now, this is the early point. We've seen this already. Most likely, someone may be a little unhappy with what's going on, and maybe they'll flip. They're kind of happy with the Tiffany Haynes situation. Instructor Mike thinks that he got everything kind of set up there. It may not work. They're playing the game. I hope that one person decides, you know what, this is out of hand. They just went through 4 years of the Haynes administration. I'm going to speak up, and they may get some consequences, negative consequences for speaking up. But they can't. I can look at the group here. They're not comfortable at all.
Thank you for the comments. I thank you for your public participation. I would just ask that you give the courtesy and respect to not just myself, but to the trustees and everybody in their respective roles that's trying to do the best job they can possibly do for the residents of Thornton Township. And at this time, I'd also ask that everyone please rise.
Okay, so I'm trying to find what he said at the
For a moment of silence earlier.
What he tried to talk about.
Enhance the services.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think it's over here. I found it, guys. So this is from the budget meeting before the board meeting, and what he was talking about in terms of I don't know if this was his last comment before the meeting ended, but I thought this was extremely important to hear of his mindset and what he thinks is important, what isn't. I think I'm at the right time right here.
Because we're not going to sit here and deny people, trustees. Seeing none, I'll make some general comments regarding the budget. As was stated by Finance Chair Hunt, we reduced the levy strategically, meaning that this is going to allow us to pay less in taxes in our total overall budget. But first, let me say this. A budget is a reflection of our priorities. We hear a lot of talk about it's increased here, or not enough this, not enough that. This board and myself strategically sat down and thought about the processes in which we go about this because we don't want to leave any resident behind. And when you're spending on the best interest of the residents, sometimes you have to make the tough decisions to increase things for the sake of the residents. It was said about property taxes. Well, we have a tax relief program in process. That does not mean that all of the revenue that was allotted for that will be spent. But we needed it there just in case. If 100% of the people utilize it, we're going to have that money readily accessible for the residents of Thornton Township. And that's important because we're not going to sit here and deny people the services that they need, that they pay for, and that respectfully we should give them. Last thing, we talk about having it both ways. I'm hearing a lot of talk about where you're overspending this and we need to get a forensic audit for this and do this for that. Well, you do know that audits cost money too. And if we add the audit to it, then we're going to go over more budget. So
So what he's saying is that the township can pay him the $200,000 a year, but when it comes to the forensic audit, that's too much money. They got to be conservative with the amount of money that they're going to spend. That's expensive, but getting the first year supervisor, maintain my $200,000 salary, that is not that bad. That's cool. That's money worth spending because, again, like he says, you get paid what you're worth. He believes that he deserves this kind of money. So, yeah, can't really do too much with that expensive forensic audit. That's too much for the taxpayers. Shout out to Cookbook Frank. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, so he's already telling you that we're not doing a damn forensic audit. We don't need to do that. Stop talking about it. We're moving forward. We're not moving backwards. We gotta, things are great because I'm here.
Let's stop the nonsense about who did this and who did this, and let's come together in response to the residents here at Thornton Township. And I know myself and the commitment of this board, we're gonna put the residents first in every decision that we make. And so with that, I'll say thank you, Finance Chair Hunt, for bridging the gap and standing in the gap and allowing us the opportunity to work alongside with you to put this budget together that should have been done months ago. But moving forward, we now have a roadmap so that now we're going to be able to have more efficient budgets. And as we continue to grow through this process, these departments we're going to continue to strengthen them to make sure that we enhance the services for the residents.
Okay, Napoleon. Thank you, Robert Hunt, for bridging the gap, filling the gap, taking the A gap, B gap. I think Napoleon Harris is going back to football talk. Robert Hunt should not be the finance director. I don't know how he's still there. He must be he must be part of the machine. And props to him. I mean, I thought he was going to get kicked out as soon as the new administration came in. But you still have Keith Price working there. I know he's on FMLA or something like that. You have Robert Hunt there that you cannot speak. You can't get him to speak. You can't get him to talk. He wants to take down articles that make his administration look bad. This is a terrible, terrible situation. And it looks like we're going to be around for a little longer. I thought at least they were going to, even if you're going to be corrupt, just wait a while. Give it a year or something. Chill out. You didn't realize how much attention was on Tiffany Hayard? He was like, I thought you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do some sneaky stuff, but let's all do things above board for, a couple of months, or maybe, let's do a good year and then we'll do the funky stuff. I'll do the shady stuff. He went right off the bat, like, we're going to just reverse the promotion, the promoting audience law where you could put your face, your big name on everything. First meeting, he was like, we got to reverse that Tiffany Hayard thing because I'm Napoleon Harris. I need to have my name and my face over everything. I'm a brand. Forget, even though we just said that this was supposed to be to not have these officials use and try to promote using the materials, the promotion materials. Forget about that. None of these trustees that spoke all the time and argued with Tiffany Hayard and told her that she was going to go to jail. Nope. Napoleon Harris is great. We're not going to say a damn word. So we're going to be here for a while. Well, 16-2, are you sure he's only there? I mean, I have no idea. There's so much going on, I can't even keep up. So much weird stuff is happening. I don't know. Maybe he'll be gone. We'll see. We'll see with that. But I think if I had to give some advice to the residents there, you got to keep the same level of energy that you have for Tiffany Hayard to this guy. Just because he's going to not crash out, he's not, he don't seem like he's going to have his significant other screw things around and make a big mess. He's probably going to hire somewhat functional people, not people who had no business running anything. He probably not going to hire people with sexual assault history, like, the crazy stuff that Tiffany Hayard was doing, or even call people out their name because they say something they don't like. He's not going to do that, but you could see that he got a little ticked off, and he's saying anyone that's bringing any kind of criticism is trying to bring a narrative that is not true, and he's not going to stand for it. And I don't know what that means, so I am looking forward to understanding what do you mean by you're not going to stand for it? What are you going to do? People are going to talk. They're going to criticize you. So I don't know. Alayla Club, appreciate you coming on. I can't believe Robert Hunt tried to decry. Yeah, he was trying to do whatever it takes to take this stuff down. And when you do that, all you're doing is bringing more attention to your situation. And Lansing Journal is not going to leave. And the fact that Napoleon Harris had all that lip, not to talk about his salary, not to talk about his chief of staff that he's paying so much money, not the fact that everyone on there is making more money than they're supposed to, but it's the clickbaiters. It's the people who are using clickbait for the views, and he's not going to stand for it because he doesn't criticize anyone, even if they deserve it, because he's a get along guy. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat. The instructor Mike says, well, the energy has only worked because the machine wanted her gone. You could bring the same energy to Napoleon, but it's not going to work this time. Otherwise, they'll just install a better candidate. I thought Paul Roberts had a good point of, okay, you hire these lawyers, but could these lawyers develop ordinance or develop a way to recall the supervisor? That probably won't happen. We got to figure, for them to figure it out, first of all, they got to want to vote and be there. Like I said, 11% only voted for the supervisor. But it looks like, to me, it looks like the same is going to happen. He's going to give them bread and circuses with the bingos, the events, the money's being spent, and he is going to make it seem like everything he's doing is above board, and anyone who's criticized him is a bad person. So, yeah, KC Cat, yeah, shit show 2.0. He's just going to, he's going to do what he wants to do. But at least we're going to be around to talk about it. I mean, God, I am surprised. I thought he would be a little bit more slick with his response. Like, say enough where you kind of will, at least if you have concerns, if you're a resident and you had concerns, that maybe you'll take a step back to wait. No, he just buried himself. He's like, I don't care. And I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm the man. So that's depressing. But we're here. We're gonna continue to check this out. We're gonna continue to follow this story. Don't have much more to say about that. But on that note, thank you for coming by. I know I haven't been on a live in a long time, so I really appreciate everyone who's been here. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of love. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the success of the channel. I forgot how many subs. It's been fantastic. Just talking about other topics beyond just the Tiffany Hayes stuff that other people really got engaged in and really supported. So I really appreciate that. And we still have lots more to talk about. There was a situation with, I think, Tyron White, a DC congressman or council person. He got reelected, even though he has been indicted federally and a trial is going to be in January. The people still voted for him. So that's something I'll be breaking down maybe later this week. And also, I know, like I said, I don't do a lot of live streams, but I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow. I'll be talking to a reporter that really came back and broke some news about the Letitia James situation. And there's going to be more information about that, damaging information about Letitia James. That is the Attorney General for New York, my state, my Attorney General, about the situation with her and obviously a former employee, Angela Bowes, that is going after her for all the things that she has done. So I'll be talking to him live. Hopefully I'll have the chat working so you guys can ask questions. But yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to still check out this situation. It seems like there's going to be a lot of issues. If you have any information about Napoleon Harris, please email me. Let me know what's going on with him. I know that it's been a lot of stuff that was ignored because everyone wanted Tiffany out. But you see where that went. So let's see what else is going on and see what other things that he's slipping by. I know a lot of people are going to be putting a lot of FOIA requests out there. So we may not be able to do much, but at least we're able to talk about it. I mean, that's at least we can do. And hopefully the residents can take more decisive action. But I appreciate that. Thank you for all the support. And I'll be here tomorrow. So we'll be talking about Letitia James, but I'm going to try to do more of the live streams. I do miss it. It's been a minute. So appreciate you guys for coming in this evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Be chill. Be safe out there. And I'll talk to you guys next time.